Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Egan, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review, Series V's I do for the one. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm reviewing another one of these again. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yam around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, yeah, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my Clutch shirt. Yay, Clutch shirt. I love this shirt. Just a very cool design. And Clutch is a very cool band. If you're unfamiliar with them, they have been around for quite a while now, at least since the early 90s, maybe even the late 80s. I believe they're a band out of Maryland, which is a little bit, you don't usually think about that, but, sure, why not? Yeah, they've sort of changed styles a little bit over the years, sort of ultimately kind of came down. They're kind of like sort of a southern rock style. I think they're really fantastic. They're known for their musicianship, their guitar work, and really just being an all-around excellent band. They've been doing it, like I said, for quite a while, and they're just one of those bands, like, they've never made it into, like, the upper echelon, they've never, like, broken through to, like, a top-tier band status, but in terms of, like, impact, in terms of, like, just other bands that really like them, they always seem to be near the top, like, basically everybody has great things to say about them, so I like them a lot. I've gotten to see them live a couple times. I actually have videos from one of the performances that I attended. Those videos are on this channel as well, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I think they're a really excellent band. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it another one of these? Well, folks, that's because I did review one of these items a while back. I might have even reviewed two, but it would have been a long time ago. What is it, though? It happens to be, boom! It's bread Kvass from Gubernija. Or Gubernija. Yes, not Gubernija. That would have been even more amazing. Apparently since 1665. Damn, son. But yeah, it's from Gubernija Brewery. I apologize, I'm probably butchering the hell out of that name. This is bread Kvass, dark rye flavor. The one significantly superior Kvass. So they're laying it down. They've dropped the gauntlet. They're saying, we're the fucking one. And yeah, it's a fermented bread soft drink that I mostly associate with Russia. That's kind of like what I've sort of always been told, but like apparently it's like a thing kind of in that general region, which makes sense. I actually got this from a Polish import section, but then I looked at it and it's a product of Lithuania. So, hooray Lithuania! Yes. But let's go ahead, let's get a thing for the thing, folks. We get a thing like that, or maybe we'll do it like this. I'll just kind of like, ha 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 ha. So yeah, let's give it a go. It's been a long time since I've had one of these, and I just randomly ran into it about a week ago, and I was like, all right, let's review another one of those. Okay. Open it up. Fermented bread soda. Ooh, that's got an interesting smell, but not an unpleasant one. Ooh. Ooh. Good on you, Gubernija. I'll give you some credit. You're talking about being the one superior Kvass brand. I might have to agree with you. So, when I reviewed Kvass in the past, I definitely did at least once. I think I maybe did it 2 times, but it was a while ago. In both instances, and at the very least, I have had it twice, because I know that I've reviewed it, and I know that I've had it separately at least one time. I've never been in love with Kvass. It's always a very interesting flavor of drink. But I always keep going back to it, because it's like, look, sure, the people of Russia and that general region, I guess Lithuania as well, they gotta know what they're doing, right? People like it, there's gotta be something to it. So I keep giving it a go, periodically, every few years or so. And typically, I'm never enamored with it, but this one actually, I kind of can get behind. I actually kind of dig this one. It does have like a rye bread flavor to it, but the way that it kind of works in with the whole thing, it sort of works for me because almost reminds me a little bit of like a very dark root beer. Um, it has like a very like earthy kind of aspect to it. Like it tastes like it comes from the ground, and I like that in a lot of drinks. I like root beer. I like like ginger ales. I like birch beer, stuff like that. It's like I can get behind that type of stuff. The Kvass stuff, though, man, it's been more miss than hit, if I'm being honest. But this one, I actually kind of like this. I think this one's pretty damn good. And like I said, it has, like, you can definitely taste like a rye bread kind of flavor to it. It has sort of like a mild sourness to it, again with sort of an earthiness. But there is more to it than that. There's almost like a very mild kind of fruitiness, like a little something of a sweetness to it. Almost kind of the way, reminds me almost kind of the way, I'm not saying it tastes like this, but I'm almost kind of the way like aniseed works, where it's like, aniseed has kind of a bitter flavor to it, but there's like a little bit of a sweetness that kind of backs it up. That's kind of what this reminds me of. It has a little bit of almost a bitter kind of sour, earthy flavor, but with sort of like a kind of an underlying sweetness, but not like a heavy sweetness. I think that's why I'm liking this one, because it's got a complexity of flavor to it, and then at the same time, like it's not just one thing, if that makes any sense. It's like I said, it's got multiple facets to it, and it has these different elements that I personally think are working together really well. Yeah, I actually think I can get behind this one. um I like the flavors that are going on. I'm not even a big rye bread fan, if I'm honest with you. I like it on certain sandwiches, but it's not my go-to bread. But in this, I like the way that they captured this. I think this is actually this, again, the one significantly superior Kvass, I personally am going to have to say out of the ones that I've had, this is my favorite so far. I'm sure I'll try others later on, and who knows, but at the very least for right now, this is definitely the best one, because I like this one. I can get down with drinking it. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, for me, I have to go with yes and kinda. For me, I mean, let me put it to you this way. It's not going to replace root beer or birch beer as being, one of my favorite drinks. But the fact that it's way more palatable for me personally than the other ones that I've had, plus just like the complexity to it, and like I said, the virtues that I personally think it has, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know that I would ever buy like a 6-pack of these, because I think that they'd be a little bit wasted on me if that were the case. But I would go over there and buy one of these periodically to have in my fridge for when I really want one, because that's kind of the type of drink it is for me. It's not going to be like an everyday type of thing, but it is something where I could definitely see myself wanting one now that I found one that I really like, and just wanting that very specific flavor. So yeah, I could see going over there and picking one up periodically, just to have on have on hand in case I really want it. I think for me personally, if I had any criticism to it, and there's not much, I personally think, it is a soft drink, so it is somewhat carbonated. I'm used to like an American level of carbonation, especially like root beer tends to be very carbonated. I honestly think I'd probably like this, maybe, it depends on how the carbonation works with things. I'd probably like it if it were a little bit more carbonated, so it had a little bit more of a bite to it, but that's about it, honestly. Everything else I think is actually really cool, and, again, not an everyday drink, but one that I enjoy quite a bit. If I'm recommending it, this is not going to be a drink for everybody. And now, the thing is, I need to kind of take into account with an item, especially an item like this, where it's obviously international. Who am I recommending it to? I always think of it more from the perspective of I'm recommending it to, my fellow Americans, just people who live in the United States. But of course, YouTube has an international reach. I know that I do have a somewhat international audience on a minor scale. Thank you very much. Love you. If I'm recommending it to my American friends, right? My American viewers. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. It works for me. But I like drinks like this, and a lot of people don't. Again, the closest thing I could kind of describe it to being would be along the lines of like a darker root beer. And darker root beers are not typically the ones that are the most commercially viable. You get like your A&Ws and your mugs that tend to sell better. But if you do like darker root beers, think think like your Dad's, your Barks, like your smaller batch root beers, excuse me. This might be something worth trying. I do think that there's something to it. And at least with this brand in particular, it works for me. On an international scale, it's hard to say because, the international appetite is going to be different. And obviously, if you're from this region where this is well represented, if you're looking for my opinion in that regard, I'm probably not going to be able to help you to any significant degree because my experience is so limited with Kvass. But I will say out of the ones that I've had, this, again, is the personal favorite one that I've had. So, if nothing else, I think this could be a good starting point, Kvass, for you. And then maybe branch out, or maybe I'm completely talking out my ass. I don't know. But 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go over there with yourselves a truly Kvass-tastic rest of your life, because one of the things that I love about doing this show is, granted, I would do it one way or another, but it provides me an outlet to go over there and try these more unique things that, I like getting to try this stuff. We have all these great things in the world. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we need to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, thing that I want you to do, take this kind of as potentially a stepping point for yourself, If you watch my show, you enjoy, seeing me review some of these more unusual items, maybe take those steps yourselves. A lot of places have, especially like specialty supermarkets and stuff, search your scene. That's kind of the thing I always try to emphasize. And not only just for local stuff, but, if you have these opportunities, because sometimes you find stuff that you're really surprised by and you really end up liking, and, it's great that you get to experience that. There's nothing wrong with just enjoying the stuff that you enjoy, but, branch out when you can. Anyway, bye.